Good morning, everybody. Happy Friday. We are coming to the end of our first kind of full week at Jeff for 2022. And for our Nutrition Daily segment, we're back in the kitchen today. This morning, Friday is all about food feels. And what we're covering, different topics on Fridays, are going to be things like a little bit of soul food, the things that you really like, how we can get them into your diet, maybe how we can cheat the system, things like takeaways, how do we look forward to the weekend and still look to nourish ourselves, eat something beautiful, but try and stay on track. And that's what today is all about. I'm showing you one of my favorites, which is a little cheat for when you feel like a takeaway, how you can cheat the system. And I'm doing an egg fried rice takeaway. It's a beautiful way to make use of leftovers as well. So that's one of the big ticks to it. And I'll run you quickly through what you need. Essentially, some rice. You can have a look at it here. We'll bring it up quickly in a second. Any rice will do. Short grain works really nicely. You can also go and buy one of these little things, these little sachets of rice that's already cooked. But if you've had dinner the night before, keep some rice aside. You can use it for breakfast the next day to do your egg fried rice. But this also works well for lunch or dinner, anything like that, which is great. You'll need some carrots and onions, some garlic, some green peas, frozen buggers. They're still frozen there. And then anything else. So if you've got things like corn or mushroom or anything like that, that'll work. It'll go into this beautifully. I've got some sesame seeds that I'm going to top it with and just some spring onion. All right, so first thing, pan goes on behind me here. I'm going to get a little bit of cooking oil in there and my sous chef's back in the house. And we're going to fry off, just sweat our onions and carrots will go in there first. So I'm using a little bit of coconut oil as my oil of choice here, but you can do anything, a little bit of butter, a little bit of olive oil, and this is just adding no flavor. Right. So into the pan, and while that sweats off, we'll literally just be going for a couple of minutes. Just want to get it a little bit soft. Then we're going to add our rice. We're going to add our garlic, our peas. Going to get the eggs ready. And then you can get more protein into this if you want to, just with anything else. I've got some leftover chicken. So you guys had chicken for dinner last night. So that's a good way to do it. You can keep it light for breakfast. And for example, just do the eggs. Just hang on a second, my man. You can do the eggs, you can do the rice, and you can do the peas. You can take it up a level for lunch or dinner, get a bit more protein in there, and that's what we're going to do with the chicken. So we're just going to chop that up a little bit. So that will go in towards the end. Everything's cooked. That's what's great about it. So we've got our chicken that's ready to go and rock and roll. All right. While that sweats behind me, just going to pop up. Natalie Peterson's here. Good morning, Natalie. Hopefully you are doing well. All right. So, onions and carrots, going to give them about 3 minutes. Then the rice, peas, garlic will go in. They'll get 2 minutes, eggs, and the chicken, and we're done. I love flavoring this with, I think, two of my favorite sort of savory Asian sort of options. A little bit of soy sauce, that's where the seasoning is going to come from, and a little bit of sesame oil. Those two things on there are fantastic. And that's where a lot of flavor is just going to come through at the end. Liza, love a little bit of egg fried rice, which is beautiful. Okay, so the onions and carrots looking good behind me. In goes my rice and peas. And the garlic, just to get a little bit of beautiful smells going. What's great about doing this in the morning, this is literally, it's going to take me 10 minutes. So it's a nice way to do a bit of meal prep. Maybe do a slightly better breakfast as well. But nothing takes long. Okay. So we're just going to give that a minute and then get ready with our eggs. So some people like to cook the eggs first, bring them in later. It just holds together a little bit differently. Here it's going to coat everything. So if you want little blobs of egg, you can scramble it first and chuck it in afterwards. I don't like the fuss of doing something, taking it out of the pan, getting it back in afterwards. So I've heated through my veg. I'm going to pop in my eggs and get ready to go. Okay, give that a minute. This week's been all about eggs, and hopefully you guys have caught that. So we had Tony on Tuesday giving us a little bit of info on souffle. We had Coach Jay on Wednesday and what we eat Wednesday with her beautiful creation as well. So much at Jeff revolves around the egg in our nutrition plans. We've created our portions based on them. Great source of protein. You get about 70 calories in an egg. That's where our entire system's actually developed from. Great little hits of protein, a little bit of healthy fat, and it's a super thing to include. Myths about eating too many of them, don't worry too much. As long as you've got a bit of variety in your diet, you can have some eggs every day. It's not the end of the world. Okay. So let me show you what the pan looks like. We've already got some beautiful color in there. So everything good. Smelling the onions, they're just nicely toasted. And I'm going to crack 2 eggs in. And just give it a good stir as they go in. Essentially, all you're doing is scrambling your eggs. Okay. So rice, veg, a few aromatics, your onions and garlic, and then your eggs. You can leave it like that, just to keep it a bit lighter, like I said. Or if it's a main meal, pop in a little bit of chicken. And you really just need that to heat through, and we'll be ready to go. Okay, I'm going to move that out the way to plate. So the second camera here is jumping a little bit. Kirsty Barker, good morning. Carol, good morning. Ava, how are you doing? Candice Purdy is here. Lovely to have you guys with us. And we're going to get ready to serve. So while it's in the pan, I'm going to season it with a little bit of sesame oil. So drizzle of that and a little bit of soy sauce. Okay, those flavors, it'll hit the pan, you'll smell it, it's going to smell great. Okay, we're done. Have a look here. Okay, so it looks beautiful. We've got all sorts of different colors going on there. There we go. One thing about egg fried rice, it's never the prettiest thing because it's a little bit of everything that just goes onto a plate. But it's the flavors and the taste that is just super. Okay. So we've got our lovely portion of egg fried rice. We're going to try make it look a little prettier with some spring onions. Nice little freshness that just goes on that. If you want to, Coach Jay was watching, I'm sure she'd throw a little bit of chili at the problem because it's a bit nice with chili. And a little bit of extra fiber. Sesame seeds. So hopefully that second camera will bring in there. That's our egg fried rice. Fake away with some chicken, loads of color, loads of fiber, loads of good nutrition. Guys, that took me 10 minutes to do for the morning. There's no excuse not to have it for breakfast if you want to, or portion out for lunch, or dinner tonight when you think you're about to make a phone call and order some takeaway. I'm pretty sure you've got some rice in your cupboard. You could cook it quickly. It's always great using leftover rice once it's cooled. Also increases the amount of fiber in it and digestible fiber, which is really good. And you can do that. Any veg go in there. You can add a little bit of extra protein if you want. It's super. Pat, chili would add a nice spice. It would indeed. Liza's going to make this for lunch, which is super. Going to add some ham instead of chicken. Lovely, that works as well. Kirsty Barker, brown rice would be slightly healthier. So this packet that I showed you, nice brown rice option. Slightly more fiber. So brown rice will give you a bit more fiber, but if you're getting your portions right, it controls for some of that. So use what you've got. For example, if you're going to cook something for the kids and they want white rice, that's fine. If there's a bit of leftover, that you're going to get more fiber from adding the veg in there anyway and balancing it out with some protein as well. Okay, kids do love this, so they're circling. They're going to come and have some, and that's going to be my breakfast. I'm done. Hopefully you guys are ready for the 8 o'clock workout this morning, and you're joining us tomorrow as well for our 8 o'clock. I'll be with you again tomorrow morning, showing you my ham and cheese toasty, a little French toasty. It's a beautiful one. So join me tomorrow, guys. We've had a super week with you, and hopefully you're tuning in regularly at 7:30. Get your coffee in, get ready for your 8 o'clock, and we'll see you guys later. Cheers.